In this moment, I am calling my power back to me. I call back my power and my energy from all corners, all people, places, and situations that have been draining, siphoning, stealing from me, consciously or subconsciously, intentionally or unintentionally, from all realms, worlds, and directions of time. I am safe, sovereign, and divinely protected. So be it, and so it is. Hey friends, I'm coming to you today with a different sort of video for me. I'm so sorry. I'd like to apologize first. I missed both days this week doing my live free readings. But there's a reason for that, and I am feeling compelled to do a story time on this. I've ran this over and over in my mind of whether or not I should actually do this. So this is some private information, and I'm not someone who likes to air my personal business too much to the world. But I come on here and I talk to you guys and I give you guys spiritual advice and instruction from your guides on how to deal with your life situations while you're traveling and traversing through your ascension process. And things happen every once in a while that remind me that I am not infallible, that I am not excused from the piranhas that walk this earth and who really only desire to extinguish the light in others. I can still fall victim to that too, you guys, and I did. Boy, did I. So, where have I been for the last week? No. Where have I been for the last 3 or 4 months? Right? Because I kind of disappeared in a way. And for a lot of people that I speak with on a daily basis, they've all really started missing me and kind of all told me at once. A lot came out all at once. So let's get into it. Okay, so before I even start, I want to call in my guides and protectors, my angels, my ancestors of the love and light only, asking for divine protection to be placed around me, my home, my family, always, anyone watching. We're divinely safe and protected within the God Source energy. And even though I'm divinely and protected and divinely safe and protected within the God Source energy, that just does not mean that I am infallible to the evil that walks this earth. And like I said, desires to shut those of us down who are out here trying to do light work. And the devil comes to us through our friends. I know I've been saying that on my channel. I post things about it on my channel. I post things about it on my other platforms all the time. The negative entities, the low vibrational entities, the negative, the dark, it absolutely comes at us through our friends, through our life situations and the places, let's see, how do I put it? So I have been placed into a position where I have been diagnosed with a physical illness, a progressive illness that requires or that takes from me my physical ability over time. Not like they said it would, okay? Definitely my prognosis has not stayed correct and accurate to what the medical professionals have placed on me. I have proven them wrong in all areas where they've said that my body would fail. It's not to say that it won't happen eventually, but it's so far, I'm way behind their mark. So one thing is true though, is that I am definitely feeling the effects of the progression. I don't have the energy levels I used to have. I don't have the physical ability I used to have. And I have had a really, really hard time, you guys, coming to the conclusion that I need to ask for help. I'm 50 this year. So, and I've always been fully 100% independent. So that has been something that has been very, very, okay, I'm going to say it right now. I might cry. And I'm not going to apologize for that because we're supposed to cry. Every time we cry, we're supposed to. Okay. Having to accept help is one thing, but having to allow an individual access to your home, all of your privacy, all of your personal stuff, your personal conversations, your doctor's records, your medications, the food you eat, how many times you use the bathroom in a day. All of these things, you're opening yourself up to another individual to come in and provide these things for you and to do these things and to help with these things. I was offered a state-appointed assistant. Some people call it a caregiver, helper, nurse, care provider. There's different names for it. But I was offered this service several years ago, like 5 years ago, when I was in a state of progression. I was having seizures every day. I was falling and breaking myself. I broke one hip, then I broke the other, then I broke my shoulder, then I broke my neck, then I broke all of the knuckles on my hand. You want to know that's why they look like that. Why do my hands look like this? Because of seizures, of breaking them, and they heal back like that. Okay, that's why my hands look like this, because of seizures that I had 2 years ago when I was in a state of progression that was taking me fast. A miracle happened. My guides came through. They told me to get off all the medications, and I got better. Okay, and now I have outlasted all of their expectations, like I said. But that opportunity to have a helper is still there for me. This is someone who's paid by the state a good wage. Let me just tell you, you get $36 an hour to hang out with Crystal, right? I'm somebody who's very, very, very easy to be around. I'm very independent. I'm very self-sufficient, but there are a few things I need help with. My energy levels run out fast. I may need you to help me carry things from this room into the other, help me complete laundry. Just very simple type tasks is all I'm really needing help with right now. But back when they very first gave me the opportunity to have a helper, I was in a lot of need back then. And so they assigned me a large amount of hours that I can hire someone that they will pay for. This equals up to about a 40-hour work week, right? So this would mean someone in my house 5 to 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, if that's so needed. Okay, I don't need that. And I don't want that. I don't want that much intrusion in my life at this point because I don't need it. So I haven't actually utilized that service in several years. When I started getting better, I basically let my caregiver know I didn't need her anymore. I mean, I used her less and less until I didn't need her anymore at all. When we moved over here, so when I signed up to do the Christmas show, if any of you have been following my channel, for the last several months, I've been working towards creating my intuitive artwork, purchasing healing crystals, making healing crystal jewelry, these things. I'm an artist, and I'm also a sculptor, and I'm also and I also sell crystals. I'm a crystal practitioner, is what I call myself. So I have been a vendor where I go and set up a booth and during events and sell my things for several years. Well, I've been trying to get in on this really amazing this really amazing Christmas show that happens at the Washington State Fairgrounds once a year for a couple years. This year, I was able to get in, at least I thought. I'm not going to go into the whole story there. Something happened. It didn't end up working out, but then I was left with all this stuff that I had made for this show, so now I have to figure out a new pathway. Okay, as this is happening, an individual entered my life. This person entered my life in distress, fully embodying victim status. This person overly dramatized situations potentially happening in their life, or situations they claimed were happening in their life. This person embellished upon stories. She would take base pieces of truth and build it up and create a new narrative around it to make it look the way she wanted it to look, but could still reference it back and say, look, there's some truth right there, right? She did that a lot. But the truth disappeared after a while because she would embellish it out of the whole story. This individual showed a different face in front of different people. And I started to notice some things. But it wasn't noticed until after I decided to enter a business partnership with this person who has been in my home for several months. In the state of crisis because of a bad relationship. And I was told her home was in foreclosure, and that her significant other was dying of cancer and was not leaving her anything as far as life insurance or anything like that. I always questioned this because this individual still works full-time for the post office. This individual brings in from what she told me, $7,000 a month for income. And their house was in foreclosure. So it was strange to me. And I questioned it a lot. And the answers I got never set right. But I gave the benefit of the doubt because I thought I was helping someone. Last week I started going under demonic attack. I was getting physically touched. I was getting the air sucked out of my body. I was being thrusted into acute anxiety attacks out of nowhere. My heart would just start pounding. I didn't know what was going on. I was getting warnings, big warnings. You want to hear a little warning that's kind of crazy? One day, we were walking in Safeway. Okay, I was on my way to go to my crystal dealer, crystal lady, not drugs crystal, okay? Let me make that clear. My crystal, like this kind of crystal, crystal lady, I call her the crystal lady, to go pick up some pieces, this resell in my store. She goes to the Orient every couple months and gets a lot of cool pieces and brings them back, and she lets me go through them before she sells them. So I was getting ready to go do that. I was very excited, but a lot of stuff happened that day and it got pushed off late and I couldn't get to my bank in time to get cash out for her. So we decided to go to Safeway where I would purchase something and then get cash back. I just needed $100. So we go into Safeway and I walk all the way to the back. Now, mind you, I have 2 replaced hips. So when I'm walking, I'm holding onto the cart with both hands. And it was one of those type of carts, I don't know if you've seen these or not, that are like short, taller, but short, small, and they have a top one that's small and then a bottom one that's a little bit bigger. Okay, it was one of those. So I'm holding on to that and I'm steering it. Okay. So we go back to the back of the store and I grabbed coffee creamer. That's all I needed. Just something I could purchase. And I knew I needed it, so I thought I was killing 2 birds with one stone. So we grabbed the coffee creamer. Now I'm pushing one cart and Jody is behind me pushing another. Okay. So as I'm going, I'm heading towards the checkout and I have to walk past what is a Starbucks restaurant that is inside of the Safeway. So inside of the Safeway, they have a Starbucks restaurant, right? Well, over near that Starbucks restaurant, maybe about 6 feet away from where I was walking past, there was a display sitting there that had a bunch of Christmas tumblers, Starbucks tumblers for sale, Christmas design Starbucks tumblers for sale. And I seen them as we were going by, and as we're going by, I did get just past that thing, and a red Christmas tumbler about this big literally flies off the shelf and lands at the floor at my feet. I stop in my tracks. I turn around and look at Jody and I go, I didn't do it. I was just kind of making a joke out of it, right? And I go, I didn't do it. I had both hands on the cart. I didn't do it. She says, I know, that was weird. I saw it just fly off the shelf. And I laughed it off and said, welcome to my world. And we kept going. The very next day, by the way, that was a red flag because there was all the colors, but a red cup landed at my feet. The next day, everything went bad, you guys. Everything went bad. And this person who was supposed to be my partner, I always had a weird feeling. I questioned things. So I kept everything to do with the store I just opened in my name. It was all my money put in. All of my money used to purchase the supplies to make the things in the store. All of my money used to purchase the rent, the lease, the deposit, the shelving, all of it. I funded the entire thing. Now, mind you, every minute that Jody was with me, she was getting paid $36 an hour just to be there. So she was getting paid to work at the store when I wasn't. I make money if I sell stuff. I sell stuff if I make it and it sells. That's how I make money. Or if someone wants to purchase a crystal. She's making money regardless because she's getting paid to do this with me by the state. Some things happened and I went under the next morning I had a severe demonic attack in my kitchen. It was about 20 minutes after Jody showed up at my house. And as she stood in my living room watching me go under attack, jump into cleansing mode, I start grabbing my sage, saying my prayers, doing my things. She proceeded to stand in my way, prevent me. Everywhere I would try to move, she would stand in my way. I didn't quite understand what was happening. But at the time, I was very frustrated because she kept being in my way. And I was kind of snapping at her a little bit, saying, move now. I'm trying to do this. This is important. She wasn't the one under attack. It was me. And she was 1,000% unconcerned that it was happening. She ignored it completely, acted like it wasn't happening. When I got up and tried to cleanse, she kept standing in my way. So I couldn't get to the corners of my house. And was scoffing at me as I did it. Mind you, this is somebody who's done this with me in the past. This is somebody who claims to believe in me and everything I've said and done. This is someone who claims to be spiritual. This is someone who claims to be psychic. This is somebody who told me she used to work for a psychic telephone line back in the day. I mean, this is... The next morning, the psychic attacks were eye-opening for me. And after she left, I really had to sit and meditate and think and really just talk to my guides and ask for guidance. The next morning, I felt uncomfortable with her returning to my home. So I asked her not to come. I simply texted her and said, please do not come today. There's some stuff going on and I'm processing and I need a day. But I think she figured out that I was on to her because she proceeded to push and push and push and push and push until I finally told her, look, I'm not going to let you push me beyond my boundaries. I need a day to think about what I need to say. That's how I work. I need to talk to my guides. That's how I function. That's how I work. Please don't disrespect that. Allow me to have that one day. But she would not do it. So I had to end up just ignoring her the rest of the day. The next morning, she texted me and said, if you're going to fire me... Well, the next morning, I texted her and said, hey, I have a telephone call scheduled, a private telephone call scheduled at 10:30 in the morning with somebody, and I'm not going to miss this phone call. It's something I've already missed for several weeks to get this store going. I'm not going to miss this phone call, but it is a private phone call. It wasn't anything to do with her. It was a friend of mine, and this is our relationship. She lives far away. The only way we communicate is we have a weekly phone call where we look at each other like this and we talk and share our lives together because I can't get in a car and drive to where she's at. I would love to do that, but I can't. So this is something that's been neglected for months now, as well as everything else. I'm not meditating anymore. I'm not doing my morning card pulls anymore. I have zero energy at the end of each day. This person has ate up every single bit of my energy. 12-hour days. She wouldn't leave when I asked her to leave. She told stories and lies that she didn't even believe the words coming out of her own mouth. I could feel it in the energy. She played victim. She used victim and embodies victim to prey on people. And the worst thing of all, she stole about $300 worth of product from me on her way out. So, the Soul Sisters Sanctuary is now the Soul Sister Sanctuary. And once again, I am on my own with this, and that's okay. But one thing I have to say is that It doesn't matter how connected you are. It doesn't matter how well you can hear the guides. It doesn't matter how dedicated you are to living through your intuition, choosing through your intuition, listening through your intuition. We can all still be victims. And they come to us through our friends. Now, let me tell you, how did Jody come into my life? Jody came into my life through my best friend. She auditioned to be a singer for my best friend's band. She happened to have caregiving in her resume. They come to you through your loved ones. Now, my best friend has been crying for days because she feels responsible for what has happened to me. My world has been turned upside down, you guys, in the last 3 months from having this person in my life. I just wanted to help her. I thought I was helping her. I gave her the opportunity and I hired her as a care helper so she could make money and not just hang out with me as a support person or a friend, but as a job, as a way to get income as well. My dream of opening up a store where I can be a crystal practitioner, I allowed her to get in on that dream. I shared my dream with her. That's how much she fooled me. So if it can happen to me, then please don't feel bad when it's happening to you. And I will be the first one to step up right now and bare my soul to you guys and say, look how easy it can happen. There's nothing we can do. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's how you deal with it. It's how you deal with the residual of it that matters. You remove the individual or the situation or the thing that's happening that is not serving your highest good, that is pulling you away from your light. You cleanse your area. You call back your power. And then you accept that there was a lesson in that for you. And then you grow. Because the day after everything was brought to my attention and the disconnection was made and I fired her basically, and I went one way and she went hers, even though she stole a bunch of stuff from me on her way out. Don't worry, I have filed charges. That's all in the works. Not only did I file charges for theft from my store, but I filed charges for abuse of a disabled individual. So she's actually in a lot of trouble. But not only that, you have to have gratitude, and that's the hardest part. It's so hard to feel thankful for what I just went through in the last couple months. So there's where I'm at right now, my friends. I'm trying to learn how to be grateful for what I just went through. And then once I achieve that, I'll be back in alignment and I'll be back in full effect and we'll be back doing our readings better than ever. And I appreciate so much those of you out there who support and believe in me. Lifting you all in abundant high vibration. Blessed be.